Alright, GBF says there's 15 seconds left in strike time, so let's change channels and get this going so that we can watch Komi-san after this or something.
Yeah. Yes, I would like to switch channels. Discord. And now I'm on push talk.
Alright, pulling up the agenda, pulling up my notes on how Rose Queen works because I.
Oh, don't worry, I have notes on how she used to work too.
Oh boy, okay. Alright, let's do this, DJ.
Let's do it.
Alright, hey everybody. This is Granblue Radio, episode number 252. We're right in the middle of Rise of the Beasts right now. We'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more than we have in a couple of years for Rise of the Beasts. But anyway, this is Vibrating Shape, and with me, as always, to bounce ideas off of and also remind me how Rose Queen works.
It's Pocketube.
Damn, I love you, Pocketube. I'm so glad you're here.
Anyways, it's DJ.
Alright, so let's get right to it because we've been talking about this for a long time. People have been waiting for this for a long time. It's Rosetta. She's got her 5-star.
Yay!
Where do you want to start? Because this is a big topic.
Start with the rework. Start with the rework first.
Okay, so the first thing that they changed was one of the biggest problems ever with Rosetta, the old Rosetta, was that once you fulfilled her mini quest and you got her hit 5 times, or you pressed, what was it, Imrir raised it a level, or was it Iron Maiden that raised
Iron
it a level?
Maiden. It's still Iron Maiden too.
Okay. So when you press Iron Maiden once and then get hit 4 times, or some combination of pressing Iron Maiden, which has a 7-turn cooldown, as a reminder, and taking damage during Rose Barrier, then you like you then get you lose 50 meter a turn for buffs, was it? Right?
No.
No, you lose 50 meter every turn while it's 5.
And 5 and you didn't dispel.
Right, and you didn't pop it. Oh, jeez, this is so complicated, DJ. It was so hard to use.
I used her a lot because I had nothing better at the time.
Right, because it used to be minus 20 at level 1, minus 20 at level 2.
Correct.
And then it went to minus 30 at level 3.
Yep.
What was it for level 4? Was it minus 40 or was it minus 50?
Also 30.
It was also 30. So it went 20, 20, 30, 30, 50. And if you ran out of meter and you didn't have enough meter to feed it, then you would lose all of it. So
you didn't pop it, so you don't get the buffs.
Right. And so what used to happen is you would get to 5, you would have to pay very close attention on when she got to 5, and then immediately pop it, because otherwise you would have to use 50 meter a turn. Is that right?
You use 50 meter per turn for nothing.
Right. You used 50 meter a turn and got nothing out of it. So you would... Then, when you popped it, though, the buffs were actually really good once you popped it. The problem was the amount of effort that it required to get to these buffs. Because...
Yeah, the buffs actually didn't change.
Yeah, so it's attack and defense. It's double attack, triple attack. It's debuff resistance and not veil. Is that correct?
Correct. It's 50% debuff resistance at level 5.
Okay. Debuff success.
50%.
And then
by the way, that does not stack with her her CA. By the way.
Great. And then Chaser. The Chaser used to be the reason that you would use her. Like,
yeah,
when Chaser was a rare thing.
Chaser.
Yeah. Now Chaser is something that kind of grows on trees. Like, it's like, to get Chaser and Wind, put Anila in your party. To get Chaser and Wind, press red skills like 5 times with Leisha in your party, and Leisha's not even that good anymore. Or alternately, get to turn 10 with Neon. Neon is good again.
Well, Neon's only is a very small use case of
Right,
a few turns.
right. But like, does Summer Korwa grant Chaser on her turn?
No.
No. Okay, it's the Chaser comes from Narmea being Narmea. Got it.
All right. If you want the chasers that are readily available, because you just listed only like
The limited ones,
the only limiteds, you also have Sulfira, which is a 3-turn cooldown.
which is really easy to get, honestly. Like,
I
so
mean, not 3-turn cooldown, three turns
3 turn
active for 7-turn
active.
cooldown.
Hmm.
You can also give Win Lancelot.
Yeah, that's right. He's what, 10% or so? 20%? One of those two.
Something like that.
Anyway, so you had to do so much work to get to that level 5 rose barrier, and then you would pop this. And so her old self worked against specifically bosses that did a medium amount of AoE damage every turn, which a lot of Earth bosses don't actually do that. Like,
Don't mind me. I'm looking at my 4 beast right now,
yeah, so it's
and
like,
she just died.
oh,
This is coming to my complaints that I'm going to talk about later.
I see. So like Gilgamesh, for example, was contemporary at the time, and Gilgamesh does single target small hits until he does a really big hit. And so, like, if you shielded or anything like that, there were times where she just didn't take damage. Um,
Yeah,
like
shields are really bad because it's unlike like Athena and new character. I remember her name. What was her name?
Enyo.
Yeah. Uh, you have to be hit, not targeted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the last time I remember her being good was during Fire Unite and Fight. You put because fire bosses very often do a medium amount of all target damage every turn. And so it was really easy to pop the Elegant Rose Barrier because she would take damage because she's wind and she would take fire damage. And then you would pop it and then your entire team would have Chaser. Like that was the last time I saw her get use before this 5-star. It was it was a long time. And so now what they've done is they've done two different things. One is that they've leveled out the meter use every turn.
Now constantly 30 instead of 20, 20, 30, 30, 50.
The other thing is that it grants the buffs for 3 different situations instead of only when you press the button again. So, number 1, it gives it when you press the button again. So you can cash it out when you think you don't have enough meter. It auto grants the buffs when her meter goes below 30. Or it auto buffs when her Roseberry gets to level 5. So it auto
Side
pops.
note, it is not when it gets to level 5. It is the turn that she ends after it hits 5.
So it will automatically go as soon as it hits 5.
Nope.
No. It's the
No.
turn after. Okay, wait.
So when she gets hit and she gets to 5, you have
Okay.
to wait another turn.
Okay. But what if she gets hit and goes to 5 and then you press the button, then you still get the
I mean, then you already you press the button. It didn't automatically go off.
right. And so the automatically go off thing is for specifically full auto people. So this now works on full auto in very specific situations.
So before, so this button has a plus. Before it used to be that it got rid of the costing 5 meter in order to press the button.
Mhm.
So she already had that problem.
Right.
Instead, it turns her 5-turn cooldown into a 4-turn cooldown.
Right.
As someone who full autos, if she doesn't get hit one turn in one of those turns, when she hits strength level 5, she'll press the button and then she'll get the buff. And now she has 5 turns where she's not actually building it up again, or 4 turns where she's not building it up again.
Okay, so if you're not playing full auto, then you want to keep it on, or how does it? Because if
Because
you
when
keep it on and she's level
if it auto pops
mm-hmm,
from it hitting level 5 and then it's the next turn
mm-hmm.
where it releases, then you can put back on the barrier.
Okay,
If you don't, pressing that button pops it, and then it's off cooldown again for another 4 turns. I mean, it's on cooldown again for another 4 turns.
which means that you can't build up levels until 4 turns from now, and then
Where
you need a minimum of.
all your buffs fell off at that point.
Well, it's
Actually, no,
five.
there's 1 turn.
There's one more turn, and then after that one turn, you're building back up again to 5. Okay, okay, I think I understand now. Okay,
This is one of my problems that I have,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where I actually want another turn to cooldown.
Right.
Because in case the scenario where she doesn't hit 5 from Iron Maiden.
Yeah, so Rose Barrier Plus actually is a problem because if it was actually 5 turn cooldown the entire time, then it would work fine. Is that what I'm hearing?
It gives me a turn buffer.
Right. Okay. God, that's like it's so convoluted to get to there.
Seems
Me,
like an oversight. Yes, it
yeah.
is, and this also only works correctly if you have your EMP skill up to max. So Iron Maiden actually gives you another dot.
Mm-hmm.
So you start off 2 on turn 1.
Right. Okay, and then there's Imrir, which got a big glow up. It now
Oh, that's way better.
it now is an all sub, which previously was available on Katsulia, and as far as I know, that was it in Wind.
Did you forget about Naramaya?
Does she all sub? I thought she regular subbed.
Let me check.
Because I know that Christmas Narmea all subs, and oh nope, never mind. Grand Narmea also all subs. Okay, she really does do everything. It was.
Fortunately enough, though, if
Mhm.
you have these both in the same team, Rosetta takes priority, and Naramaya never hits the second skill.
Nice. Oh yeah, because it's linked. Oh,
Yep.
I remember what is inferior about Grand Narmea's all sub because Christmas Narmea's all sub comes with 99% repel, which is she's going to survive pretty much whatever hits her.
Because you only take 1%.
Right. And then 50% repel on Grand Narmea is not guaranteed to let her live through it. So that's the part that I was misremembering. Like I was remembering it was inferior somehow. So there's 2 other um, all subs then. So it's Grand Narmea and Katsulia. All right, and so now there's a third option for all sub, and hers comes with 50% damage reduction, which is exactly the same number as Grand Narmea. Now that we're thinking about it, but it's not on a linked skill. But anyway, it's still an improvement. It gives you options. The all sub button has uses
Can they go buff the Rose Queen summon real quick?
to also provide 50% damage reduction, or what?
No, make it at 100% happen.
Oh,
It's
that
like
part.
a 70% chance of actually triggering,
Oh yeah.
and
They
that thing
very
is a 4-star.
Yeah, they very rarely go back and change summons.
Look,
It's
you need that Satyr summon glow up.
yeah, you
You
need
know,
you need Rose Queen 4-star to be like big. Maybe they'll do it. I don't know. All right. So that's
uh,
the pre 5-star things that they did to her.
hey,
Okay.
hey Dom,
Yo, what's up?
we need a 5th star in Rose Queen.
Oh, she already has 4 stars.
Four
God.
star, she gets 10% healing skill boost on her aura.
Okay. That's great. Let's keep moving on.
I cry. I have that 4-star too.
All right. All right. So,
Yeah.
now that they've updated Rosetta to work better, as you've mentioned, there are some oversights, and she doesn't do it all. Like she doesn't. She's not a well-oiled machine yet. Let's see what her 5-star does. So number 1, Eternal Rose. It updates to let's see here.
So I'll say it.
Yeah.
Endless Rose turns to Returnal Rose. When she doesn't have her barrier up, it on top of the 20% debuff to success boost, it also gives 35% DA, 35% TA. This is like the dagger she's holding.
Right, but when the Rose Barrier is out, it is not recorded here. Then she also instead it gives her the defense up part, which is something that was built into her kit before.
And 30% meter back because she needs that meter back in order to pay her cost of holding the barrier.
Yes. So if she CAs on a turn where she has 5 Rose Barrier, does it? It goes off successfully, right? Because it means that strength is 5.
It'll go off successfully because even if you didn't have the meter,
Okay.
because it fulfilled the below 30% in the first place.
Okay. Okay. So will it eat the 30% it gave her and then go off, or will it just go off? Wait.
It goes off. It doesn't eat the meter.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's the one thing it doesn't do. It doesn't eat the meter when it auto dispels from level
This is
5.
hurting my brain. Sorry. There's a lot of layers to this, and by layers I mean just like
She has to start her attack turn with 5 in order for it to go off.
okay.
Which means that if she ends her turn and then goes to 5, it doesn't happen. You have to wait the next turn.
Okay. Got it. I think. All right. So that's level 80. Level 90, she upgrades Iron Maiden down here, and Iron Maiden changes. So right now, mine is not level 90 yet. So she just has normal supplemental damage, which is very bad by today's standards. It's 5k.
5k.
Then after this, the nuke increases. Meh. But instead of this supplemental damage, she gains something called Rose's Affection, which gives perpetuity attacks, so 30% perpetuity,
Really good.
and the supplemental damage max goes to 20k, which is pretty solid.
That's a way bigger increase than 5k.
Yes. So then we get to 95. 95, she gets 2 different things. So number 1, she gets at 95, she gets Timeless Rain. 8 hits of damage, which, does things with her supplemental damage buff.
75k per hit.
And then she does something called Everlasting Rose. And what Everlasting Rose is it's a permanent debuff that is supplemental damage taken, which is 10k.
You have the numbers, not me.
It's 10k. And then it does 999 whenever the enemy uses a special skill, and the so it does like ghost cage stuff / whatever you want to call it, and it does supplemental damage. So that's things like what Halmal does that, Jean debuff does that for Grand Jean. Like it's a what is it? Is it called Endless Nightmare for Frau?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Whatever Frau's one does that gives supplemental damage. Like it's a good debuff to have.
Pinpoint from Toyen.
Mm-hmm. And so that's part 1. Part 2 is she gets a second support skill.
Briar Cradle.
So Briar Cradle is every turn where she takes damage. So this goes back. This is gonna lead. I'm gonna give the floor to you after this when you can complain all about this. Every turn she takes damage, then every hit that she took that turn, she will do a nuke for 200k up to 10 hits.
I'm not complaining about this one. That's actually great.
Okay.
The thing I'm complaining about is that Rose Queen, her normal support skill is still the same.
Yeah.
Because okay, the boost hostility, that's fine. 20% repel and 500 heal. And also you lose on a unique modifier 30% attack.
Don't worry, you get it back with
How you gonna get? I have 30k health.
Timeless Rain.
I have 30k health. That doesn't help me. That doesn't heal me at all.
No, I'm getting back the attack from the.
That affects everybody.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And
Although
then
Briar Cradle is really good. I like saw some one button comps for
EX Plus,
strike time.
yeah,
It's
where
really good.
you just hit Imrear. Every single hit of the punch CA for 50% at EX Plus hits her, and then she does a 10 hit, nuke that is what plus 300k just from no,
From
it's
the
plus
grid.
yeah, it's plus no from the grid it's 200k a hit, so it's plus 2 million just from Beaks, yeah. So anyway, it does a lot of good things. Um, and then we get to level 100. So level 100, um, the upgrade is to Imrir.
Hammer. I also get the icon change. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and every time she takes damage on the Imrir turn, is it just the Imrir turn? Yeah, it's just the Imrir
It's a
turn.
hammer turn.
She gets um, a 5% meter boost up to
Up to
50%
50%.
on top of the meter that you normally get for taking damage. So that's a lot of meter for 1 out of every 6 turns if there's multiple hits to
I mean,
tank.
you kind of want to time that because of her Briar Cradle in the
Hmm.
first place.
Right. All right. So now you've given me a very long lecture about how this whole thing works, just for how Rose Barrier works.
You want to talk about things that don't work with her?
The stage is yours, DJ. The stage is
All
yours.
right, so there's a character named Stariola. If the enemy CAs, he will make so that he can't attack for 1 to 2 turns sometimes.
Yeah,
Uh
restrain.
yeah, she can't get Roseberry buffs when that happens. At least she can still get her like she can keep it up because her attacking's not bad, but still.
And
Second
also,
thing,
like
you go
honestly,
first.
she doesn't really work well with the Stariola in the first place because number one, multi-attack buffs and chaser buffs don't do anything for Astariola. Number
Yep.
two, Astariola is not a supplemental damage character. He is single big hits.
Yep.
So, having 30k supplemental damage to Astariola gives him 30k damage. Yay.
All right, you want
All right,
character number 2?
I'm ready.
So, you know how I mentioned Astariola, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's Katsulia.
Oh, okay. I was actually gonna go to someone else. All right, here's Catalia. Let's go.
In full auto, skill 1 will hit.
And you lose 30 meter that turn. Hmm. Hmm.
Fortunate enough, he hit his 30 meter comes after her 30 meter at least.
Okay.
At least the way I was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Admittedly, though, most of the time you're not playing Katsuya on full auto. Katsuya mostly gets played when you're playing extremely hard content. And so there's a Lemstar video that has the usual hard mode suspects, which is Monkey, Summer Korwa. Summer Korwa dies and gives way to Katsuya. And then they are all sort of alley-ooping to Rose Queen. So Katsuya's um, guts to someone and uh, um, all sub actually works quite well in hard content on Rosetta.
And
However,
and manual play.
in manual play, hard content. All right, back to you.
All right, so now there's a class with MC, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you have some birds and trees, and so sometimes you get blinded. Yeah, when you get hit sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes some birds come out and blind them.
Yeah, it feels bad.
Oh.
It feels real bad.
Oh, I see. So, have you tried her with Rising Force yet? Not Rising Force, sorry, Relic Buster. RB, not RF.
uh, so one of the problems with Relic Buster is that it also has hostility up.
Not only that, but there's a mechanic that Rosetta doesn't work too well with. Like, remember how we wanted her to take medium amounts of damage every turn?
Yep.
So there's a very popular Relic Buster skill, which is one of the few things that actually makes it like
actually live.
uh, tankier against multi-hits and stuff like that. There's a shield effect that it can give to your entire team. And Rosetta does not play that well with shields.
She'll
Um,
probably not take damage.
so this is usually not a problem when you're dealing with a Neon shield, because Neon's shield is 3k. 3k can get chewed through pretty fast. But let's go to another character who's very popular and would also really love to get 30k supplemental from
But
Rosetta.
can we just turn off his CA sometimes?
So a lot of people do turn off his CA because that's a 4k shield every 4 turns because he triple attacks all the time.
Yeah. No, I
Every
mean like everyone else CAs but him.
uh mm, yes, Vampire. Well, the thing is that Valentine's Grimnir also kind of doesn't work with her because Divine Tempest gives the mischance, which is like blind but for everything.
Feels bad.
And so that at that point you're really looking to have something that does instead
Also,
of
those are they're multi attack too, so there's less chance of her hitting hits.
so the thing from there is also like you're trying to um like fit this in, and so now you're narrowing it down instead of doing like single AoE attacks like Fire Unite and Fight bosses do, right? Then you need it to be like Wind or Water Unite and Fight bosses where it's like their autos are something like 20 random hits. Except that 20 random small hits are bad against shields. And so there's just like the use cases for her are shrinking.
You know something though, Dom?
What's up?
These latest like United Fighter bosses, they kind of like avoid blind.
This is true. A lot of them can't get blinded until very specific parts of the fight.
Like 25%.
Yeah. Um so all of this going around, like, so they've improved Rosetta for like the third rework or so,
Something like that.
and for her use case, like we've talked about how you want some kind of like Lucilius style boss where it's lots of medium hits or single AoE hit, and you don't have Grimnir out, and you don't have Astariola out, and you don't have like. So basically, she's gonna be great for Unite and Fight. Is as far as I'm seeing it. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm actually using her in like the four beast right now,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem is actually keeping her alive.
Is it because the like CAs and the omens just zero in on her repeatedly?
It's not just that; it's just they hit really hard. Like,
Mm,
remember how we're going back to the medium?
right.
Yeah, sometimes they hit her with fire, and she takes 8k, and I'm like, I can't heal this off with my 500 heal per turn.
Mm. Yeah. Chat notes that I don't think they're like I don't think that she's been reworked. It's like I actually consider all of the new versions of her to be reworks of her. Like Earth, like Summer Rosetta has a lot of the same problems as Wind Rosetta.
Well, she has opposite problems.
Actually, yeah, she doesn't want to take damage ever. You're right.
Yeah, and then also, uh, I have Halloween Rosetta. I don't remember what she does.
Halloween Rosetta's problem is that she exists in an element where you don't need her to tank anything. Like
Eh.
there's so many great tanks in water that just outshine her in every use case. So, um anyway, so the use case for her again is like AoE autos or something like Lucilius. So we'll see what Super Baja is like. That might make this good. But against our current, set of things to fight, she's she's a little lacking. Well,
She's
remember
not
that
bad. Well, she's not. One of the things we have to notice is that she's not bad. Bad.
she now works. She now works. This is true. Um. Anyway, so All of these,
She's not a monster like the other ones that we've gotten for grand characters.
true. She's no Orchid. She's
No,
no.
no Rockham,
Mhm.
no Catalina.
Yeah, if Catalina was great for her time.
Catalina's still great. It's just that we found other ways to live.
True, also true. Like I can still right now, without being embarrassed, bring Catalina to Lucilius. Like
Like,
she's still quite good in that fight.
one of the things I'm having a problem with Rosetta right now in this four beast fight I'm doing. She's at about 10k health right now compared to everyone else at 30,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and there's no way I can heal it off unless I frontline Korwa.
I see. So, all right, let's bring it all in, which means this is a better Rosetta, but I think she's right around. She's a little better than where Rockham ended up. Like Rockham was great at the time because he was one of the few dispels that Fire had at the time.
Yeah, duration.
Yeah, and so he filled a need. And the thing is, he's still pretty good for doing certain things, like pressing a button to attack out of turn with Chaser and a follow-up nuke. Like I pull him out for the
Tower.
Tower of Babel all the time.
Yeah, he's really good in tower.
Yeah, Catalina's all around use. The EO cannon is its own monster. Like she has entire teams dedicated to herself.
Look,
So
I just want to keep hitting buttons. All right, man.
Orchid's a monster. Eugen is in very specific teams that let him be disgusting, or in short-term teams where his post CA nuke is going to be doing a lot of work. So I
Or
guess
allow someone else to be a monster because they copy him.
yeah, also true. So like where Rosetta ends up for me is like right around where the Black Knight and Rackham are, which is good, but you know we've got better. Still good though, which is a better place
Yeah.
than she used to be, where she was useful against one thing in 5 years. Oh boy. All right, where are we going next, DJ? That's our 5-star Rosetta. Oh
I'm just still sad about the timing of Roseberry Strength 5.
yeah, that is
If
pretty
it popped
awkward.
popped immediately once it hit 5, I'd be okay with it.
Hmm.
But I'm at 4, got hit, now I'm at 5. I have to wait a turn and hope that skill 1 didn't hit it off instead, because then now I have to wait.
That's
But
still pretty
that's full
awkward.
auto. That's just full auto problems on that part.
Right. So when when you go back and you're playing her manually, then things are all fine. That's good. All right. So the next thing I have on the agenda is, remember how last week we were talking about Gold Ship? We're gonna
Go ship, go.
Gold Ship. There she is. So
She's here to drop kick you.
she's not here to drop kick us in Granblue Fantasy yet.
You don't know
We
her all her emotes.
we got the well, we know her emotes. It's doing the push-ups. It's doing
Everyone
the
has
like
that.
Umapyoi pose, and there's her yeah, the Umapyoi pose is her unique animation,
Okay.
and then the last one is her like being in shock. But anyway, so yeah, she's gonna be in Granblue Fantasy Versus. Um,
Nice.
well, you know what? You were saying that it was one of the easiest ones for them to do, and it is now that we think about it. Where is she? There she is. Let's bring her up doing this one. There you go. There you go, girl. Bring it all out. Anyway, that's gonna be cool. Running around lobbies as Gold Ship is just fun sounding.
E
Where do you think that she goes next? Because remember, this is what she claims is going to be every Cygames game.
Shadowverse. The next
Leader's
easiest thing.
The next easiest thing is Shadowverse. Okay, and then I guess World Flipper is the next easiest after that, because they need the least amount of animation.
You still have to do sprite work on that.
True. All right. Well, I guess it's the gold ship login screen, or as I mentioned during the pre-show talk, we can have her be our own Jehudi, where she's just on the home screen. Whoop, she's on the home screen. She's just singing the Pocket Tube song or something, and then she's just.
You summon her and you drop kick the enemy.
Oh my God, that's so good. I mean, Kirari just falls on the enemy, so we're missing a drop kicker. It's true. All right, that's it for the gold ship portion. All right.
Yay!
So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is next month we have Super Ultimate Bahamut coming, and in order
Name no
to
longer tentative.
name no longer tentative, and in order to fight Super Ultimate Bahamut, so it's a V2 fight, and they're doing this for the first time outside of Sandbox. This Sandbox was, where they tested this. We will have the extra slot, the additional weapon slot for Super Ultimate Bahamut.
Well, what would you put in the extra slot? Well,
The thing that we're getting at the same time as Super Ultimate Bahamut is the. Is it a fifth star or is it a? Let's see here.
for Bahamut weapons,
Yeah,
or
for
fifth
Bahamut
star?
weapons. So we're
Fifth
getting
star goes to level 200, skill level 20, and
yeah.
it can
Okay,
go into
so
extra grid slots.
these things, like, they've given away a couple of them for free, and they carry your ass through the early game.
It's a
Like,
really strong normal modifier.
it's a really strong normal modifier. It gives you hit points when you upgrade it and get it to the fourth star. Well, yeah, there's a lot that these things do, and then about 3 or so years ago, people just stopped needing them anymore because with things like the Opus, with the Seraphic is sometimes all the normal modifier that a Magna Grid needs, and then we have like Dragon weapons now where you stick those in, or all sorts of other normal mod weapons. And as more and more people convert over to Optimus summons, you don't need these anymore. They're just
Because
not good.
they're not multiplied.
hmm So now you can put them in the 11th slot for Super Ultimate Bahamut. Cool. This is one of the things that I've been thinking about where it's like it's one of the first changes in a while that has helped Magna players more than Primal players.
But they added something that helps Primal players and Magna players.
Yeah, and so at the same time, we're also getting an update to another weapon type which was pretty common in the mid game and then fell off, which is the
Ultimate
Ultima weapon.
weapons.
So these Ultima weapons have been around for a while. You still see them occasionally, very occasionally.
You see them because they have cap ups.
Yes, you see them pretty much because they have cap ups. So what they're doing to them is this parity skill here is going to be EX modifier instead of normal modifier, which helps both. And then they're all going to get new skills, and I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll find out.
A 4-star and a 5th star, and 5th star allows you to put use an extra weapon slot.
hmm We'll see what happens there.
I'm definitely gonna work on my ultimate weapon.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I've been sitting around these for a while. This Earth Dagger
I've been broken mine.
This Earth Dagger now seems sad to me because I made it specifically to have an Earth Element dagger to main hand, and now, years later, admittedly, there's a very good Earth Dagger main hand, which I use. It's really good. It's not the Zircon Edge. It's Arsene. Where did Arsene go? Whatever. Don't worry about it.
I wish I had an Arsene.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. Actually, those things are things that are pretty welcome, but there's nothing to say about them until they're live, and we see what happens with that. So there's two quick things to wrap up this episode with, DJ. So number one, unfortunately and inevitably, they canceled Granblue Fest 2021 for an offline thing.
Sad, but we can't even make it there anyways right now.
I would have had to pull so many strings and make so many claims
Because you are not a tourist, right? Right.
I would have to go as press, like actual accredited press. Um, and yeah, so well, we'll always have you serial codes for fest stuff.
Oh man, my so I can get my sadness rupees again.
Oh boy, it's time for us to get 5 Dama crystals from the night party, which I think I've already claimed. Actually, that's kind of
No, you have
exciting,
not.
honestly. I haven't.
No,
I didn't.
it's not
Uh,
claimed on your thing
uh.
because
Oh,
I'm the one who
that's
bought the
right, because you're the
tickets.
one who bought the ticket, and Pocky did too.
Yeah, so you didn't get the code because it's our code.
Right. I got
I got
this.
it.
I got this brochure bonus here. Still sad. I really need to just travel again. I just want to travel again, DJ.
Yeah.
All right, and then the other thing that is left to talk about is we've got the DOS coming up. The DOS, sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say what we're getting DOS attacked right now. What?
So number one, this album cover is actually awesome.
It's really metal.
It's hella metal. People joked about it's like, man, I'm getting SMT vibes from this. I'm like, you know, metal and SMT vibes are kind of the same thing. So,
Yeah.
do you think what is the meaning that you are gleaning from this rerun? Who's coming out during Flash?
Lyria.
That would
Got
be
him.
that would be amazing. I would be 100% in for that.
Look, so in Dragalia, the prince is also a Gala character.
Oh, I see. Oh man, I really do enjoy this event though. It's so much fun.
It was really fun.
And actually, this time I'll probably listen to the Radio Way Flyer radio show. I skipped through those accidentally, and I was like, "Oh, I'll get back to them eventually." I never got back to them. I'll get back to them this time.
They're just on the ship, just taking over the intercom.
It's like this is just the intercom. It's my radio show. Ah, okay. So anyway, next week it'll be the 18th. We'll know what Flash Gala actually brought us. Um, and let's see here. Let me go remind myself of what this month's calendar has on it. By the time it's the 18th, we will be in Unite and Fight position, but not actually. It won't actually be Unite and Fight yet. So next week's gonna be a short episode, DJ. Actually short.
Maybe one of these weeks I should just make another Jeopardy board.
Up to you.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
There's probably gonna be a dead week before Granblue Fest.
I'm so happy about that. I like calm weeks. All right. And then I was looking at the old agenda. I forgot to bring in uh one of the things that was stirring up a little bit of conversation this week.
Which was?
The Wind Piercer's Verdure.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about that.
We were supposed to talk about that.
So how's that skin?
I really love it. I really do.
It looks so sick.
It's super fun. Every single Kamen Rider fan um, in GBF fandom has commented on it, basically. Like, every single one who watched Kamen Rider Ryuki is just like, so you jump really high, and then a dragon comes out and shoots energy at you, and then shoots you at the enemy while you don't actually kick them in this one, but instead, let's see here, doesn't matter, let's just go ahead and watch that beautiful bean footage. The
So
Eastern
how's the grind
Stormfront is
for
sick
it?
looking. So the grind for it was one of those things where you can go in with your eyes very wide open about exactly what you're going in for, because they've structured this in such a way that 5 not Unite and Fights, 5 Rise of the Beasts from now, then every single Pure Ching Soul Core will be available in the shop for points. You will never have needed any drops
Mm-hmm.
in order to get it. So if you're patient, it'll just fall in your lap.
It will happen.
It will happen. They also timed it in an interesting way where while it did need to use 3 4 symbol stones, this is exactly enough 4 symbol stones in order to where did that go? So here's those Pure Ching Soul Cores. It's where is that under? It's under power ups actually, because it's the Perpetuity Ring. Mastery bonus items. I can just buy the. I have used every single 4 symbol stone on Gold Bricks or Perpetuity Ring so far, except for this Perpetuity Ring, and I have enough. I used 3 4 symbol stones, and I use something like 10 symbols, like the seals.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were complaining, like, here it is, the Qinglong seals. I used 10 of them. And people were like, but that's 5 golden beasts that you can't host. That's like, it's 5 trades, it's 150. It's like, I can just join 150. I have joined 150. They're right here. I can just trade them in. I'm not short on any of these. There, I can uncap 2 more Eternals to level 140.
People still do put these raids up on Raid Finder.
Yeah. And so I went in eyes open on that. I went in eyes open that I was all I was doing with the grind was saving myself time in the future. But yeah, the use of the seals, now that I've used these 10, it means that when there's a turtle skin, I'll be using these 10, and it's like I'm already just stocked up because that's all I use them for.
You know something I found out from this Rise of the Beasts?
What's that?
Those seals can appear in blue chests too.
Yep. And I actually got a Qinglong seal in one of them. I was like, this is the greatest.
Yeah, I also got one.
And so, I went in absolutely eyes open on this. I was like, I am going to limit test and see what it's like. And one thing was very clear. This has been the best Rise of the Beasts ever for people joining your Shenshans. Because
people will join it because they want the drop.
Right.
It also appears in gold chests.
So even if you just tap it and you like treasure hunt, your chances are still pretty good of just seeing it or the Jadeite. And so, just to let you guys know, full disclosure here, this is my 1,750 Shenshan badges. This is a slightly deceptive number because when you hit them, you get like 5 each. So my personal estimate is I did like 400-ish.
Yeah, I'm closing on to 800 of those seals. Not seals, those medals.
Yeah. And, after that happened, I did this for like 2 days, I think. And I wasn't doing this
really fast.
I wasn't really doing it incredibly actively. Like, I was active in joining them, but they were always up. I would like this is my sequence for farming Shenshan soul cores. So let's just show the people how I did it. So here's this. I tap on. Oh, thanks, Tama. Your Kaguya is up. I load up. My ping's not good, but there's still time. I press this. All right, I have a blue chest now. And I'm just gonna watch Eastern Stormfront because it's dope. But yeah, I mean, that was the extent of what I did for farming. These are readily available. I'm sure by the time I reload, this thing will already be dead. Collect loot. Here's 4 Shenshan badges. And that was it. That was all I did. I played card games and I played like Princess Connect and did other things while also doing this. Like, it was easy. I personally, like I said, I went in with my eyes very open because I always tell people to do that. And it took me 2 days, and I'm happy with the result. I like this. I like this outfit. All right. Um, let's see here. What about you, DJ? Are you gonna just let time bring this to you? Like, are you waiting for the other skins first? Like, what's gonna happen?
I'm just punching these on the side while I'm doing other things.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I am now after seeing this thing in action. I'm excited for the other three beasts, what their skins are.
Oh, they're gonna be dope.
This was cool. I liked it. I have now put it on Cavalier. It's my current Cavalier skin because at least Cavalier has the theoretical option of putting on a spear, DJ.
Yeah, it's also one of the better spear classes.
It's one of the better classes that has spear um as a weapon specialty. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe one day we'll get a good spear class.
All right.
That holds a spear.
With that said, yeah, this was I think a good addition because this is something that people who complained about it always forget. This is a toy. It is not a requirement. This is actually the best toy that costs 4 symbol stones yet because those summons were a flop.
Those summons suck.
No one wants those. This is an outfit. It is a toy. It is a fun cosmetic toy that, to be honest with a lot of people, they're not going to watch it more than a couple times. They're going to reload or just let it full auto or whatever. But it's a fun toy. And I
Look,
like it.
it takes me a lot less than getting the blue sea skin.
Yeah. Yeah, the blue sea skin is the ultimate flex where like the blue skin, I still see people with it. I'm like, man, that person grinded a lot. But
My
then
friend RJ did it, and I'm like,
yeah.
dang, dog.
I've already told I've mentioned multiple times why that happens, but anyway, it's cool. I like it. That's it. That's it for this week, DJ. So once again, next week will most likely be Gala. We'll know what's going on there. Other than that, we'll be in we'll be in the position to just chill a little bit. It'll
It's
be
suddenly Wind Sanophon.
we'll have a little bit of chill time before we hear about people playing Unite and Fight, and we're just gonna play it on the side like we always do.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys. We'll be back next week. Follow me on Granblue_EN. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. You can also watch this live on twitch.tv/VibratingSheep. And yeah, all we're just gonna do is we're gonna let Gold Ship say goodbye, DJ.
I'm also just raising my plant mom.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the good things about this particular Rise of the Beasts also, is that because I have so many freaking points, and because you can turn those into angel weapons, I've just been feeding them to Rosetta. She's gained...
Thanks, plant mom.
Yeah, the 7 levels that I gained on Rosetta have become entirely 100% from angel weapons, just giving her the funnel. Thanks, auto select button. Alright, anyway, good night, guys. Thanks, DJ.
Later.